What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. And there's an emerging story going on here right now about our oil, our gas that was sold overseas here. We got a lot to cover here today. We're going to cover multiple different things here today. But the big story here that is emerging and more details are coming out here that we'll cover first here is that the strategic oil reserves, that 1 million barrels of oil per day that is being released here from the U.S. strategic oil reserves, that is being released from the United States to from President Biden, that he is releasing. And remember that 1 million per day is being released here. So this is an ongoing thing. This is an ongoing thing. Well, some new data or some new information has been released here just a few days ago, and more information is being learned about this here. That 5 million barrels was sold overseas, and potentially more because we're just learning about this now. As you can see here, at first we learned that these 5 million barrels of oil went overseas to, quote, Europe and Asia. But now we're getting more information about this. You know, you can see here the move was widely questioned after gas prices hit an all-time high in June. But now we're getting more specific information about where this oil went, especially the Asia part. And yeah, it's very concerning for a lot of people. Here's the details on this. Yeah, as you can see here, why is the U.S. sending its emergency oil reserves to China? Yeah, and it's gonna get a little sticky here, and some people are even calling for President Biden's impeachment because of this. You can let me know your thoughts here on this, but here is even some more details here. You can see here revealed Joe Biden sold nearly 1 million oil barrels from the emergency reserves to a state owned Chinese gas giant that Hunter Biden's private equity firm had $1.7 billion stake in. Yeah, yeah. So the key there is had. They do not have the stake in there anymore, but they used to. Yeah, you can see here. Joe Biden, let me see if I can zoom this in here. Yeah, President Joe Biden has sold 950,000 barrels of the U.S.'s oil, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, to a state owned Chinese firm, which Hunter Biden's private equity firm previously held a $1.7 billion stake in. Yeah. Last week, it emerged 5 million barrels of oil have been sent abroad after the White House claimed releasing them would help Americans paying at the pump. And I'll get to this here in a second. President Biden says that falling gas prices show that his program is working. We'll get to that here in a second. The president was slammed when it emerged between a fifth and a sixth of the reserve oil he bragged about releasing to boost supply has made its way offshore to Europe and Asia in June alone. Then on Friday, it emerged that some of the oil was shipped to a firm previously connected to the president's son. 950,000 barrels were sold to UNIPEC, the trader arm of the China Petrochemical Corporation, better known as Sinopec. Sinopec is also tied to the private equity firm BHR Partners, which Hunter co-founded in 2013. In 2015, BHR bought a $1.7 billion stake in Sinopec, the Federalist reported. 1.7 billion. That's not million. That's 1.7 billion. Hunter Biden's lawyer says he no longer has any financial interest in BHR, which bought the stake in the Chinese oil firm. Yet the Washington Examiner reported that as recently as March, he was listed as a part owner in China's National Credit Information Publicity System. It was possible the records had not been updated, though. The revelation will add to the growing questions about the White House actions around the SPR. Joe Biden authorized the release of 1 million barrels a day from April onwards. President Biden said these releases of oil will put more than 1 million barrels per day on the market over the next 6 months, and will actually continue here for a few more months, and will help address supply disruptions caused by Putin's further invasion of Ukraine and the price hike that Americans are facing at the pump. Now, some people say it has had little effect, but President Biden says it has had a lot of effect. You can let me know your thoughts here. We'll get to that here in a moment. But let me know your thoughts here on the whole China aspect and sending our oil overseas. This is becoming a lot more details are coming out here than when we reported it yesterday. Um, we do know that the U.S. has been supporting Europe on because they're weaning off Russian oil as well for the cause, because they're doing the same thing that we had to do. Basically, we were able to wean off Russian oil pretty much instantly because we only use or we used to use about 3 to 8% of our oil or Russian oil. We were able to instantly just wean off. But Russia or Europe is a completely different story. A majority of their oil comes from Russia. I mean, they're literally right there. So we don't have to, but we're supplying some of our oil to Europe. But China's a different story. I mean, we're not exactly allies with China. We do get a lot of trade from China. I mean, if you've ever walked down the aisle and looked at the products, not food products, but like, plastic products, soap products, plastic products, toy products, anything like that. A lot of our goods come from China, but yet they're not exactly an ally. In fact, one could say they're not an ally. They're more of an ally with Russia. And Russia's the furthest from an ally that we could get at this point. So many people are very, very unhappy with this situation. In fact, some people are calling for impeachment of the president over sending our oil to a enemy, China. Yeah, you can see this opinion piece on Fox News. Um, Tucker Carlson says that Biden should be impeached for sending our natural assets to our enemy, China. But there's other people calling for this as well, as this is more and more information is coming out about this. You can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'm just kind of presenting the information. Obviously, both sides have different opinions here. President Biden's opinion is obviously a lot different. He has to say here that it's working. Biden says falling gas prices show, quote, his program is working. He says the cost of the pump has dropped for 25 consecutive days. Gas prices have dropped for 25 consecutive days. And that is true. You can see another headline here. Gas prices drop in LA, Orange counties for 24 days in a row. You can see here another headline here. Local gas stations have prices under $4 a gallon in some areas. In some areas, you can see what a difference in price there. Regular gas $3.99 and diesel $5.99. What a difference! $2 more for diesel, and diesel takes less refining. It's a more I want to say cruder gasoline, but that's kind of a weird Weird way to say it, right? But I mean, if you know, you know, right? But yeah, I mean, and you can see here, gasoline prices see the largest drop in nearly 15 years. Now, of course, we were at all-time highs. So again, that's a little bit of a double-edged sword. All these headlines here from today and yesterday, and from all sorts of different news sources. And again, I like to get sources from everywhere. Not just from Fox News, not just from CNN. Really from all over the place here. And you can see here gas prices, national average gas prices here today, down to 469 here today, dropping kind of dramatically. Kind of dramatically. Yesterday, 472. A week ago, 482. So we're down to 469, and a week ago was 482. So we are seeing a pretty quick drop here. We're down 13 cents in a week. A month ago was 497. And remember here that the all-time highs here was 501 and diesel was 581. Diesel's now down to 565. Diesel's just unbelievably high, man, in the fives. Just wow. And so we are seeing gas drop. So I mean, yeah, I mean, here's the prices as you guys can see them. This is the national average. Of course, if you're in California, which is the largest state population wise by a long shot, you could see their gas prices here much higher. That's because they have higher state taxes and they have a different blend of gas and to try to keep pollution down and stuff. But they're dropping here as well. 611 a week ago was 625. So again, they're seeing the same type of drop. California just has higher gas because of their taxes and their different blend of gas. That it is what it is. But yeah. So gas drops for 25 days in a row from their all-time highs. President Biden says his plan is working. On the other side of the aisle, people calling for President Biden's impeachment, saying, you sold our oil to China, about 1 million barrels of oil. Yeah, so there you have it. Again, I just like to give the details, both sides of the aisle, so you guys can make your opinion, your choice. And you can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. They're releasing 1 million barrels per day, every single day. So yeah, you can let me know your thoughts here. So he sold a day's worth of oil to China. Honestly, if I was the president, I get a lot of comments on this. If I was the president, I just wouldn't have done that because it's just bad PR. It's just bad PR. Definitely, I know that they have to support Europe. You could see he got some press even on that. I definitely wouldn't have done it to China, though. Now, the problem is that the president probably isn't the one actually selling the oil, if you kind of think about it. He's probably not actually doing the actual trading. But nonetheless, I would have probably said, make sure that none of this goes to Russia or China or North Korea or anything like that. I would have said, make absolutely sure that that doesn't happen because it's just a terrible, terrible PR move. It's just like fodder for your enemies and the other political party, and it's like the worst thing you could come up with. It's like impeachment fodder. Um, it's like you can't make this stuff up. Like it's like Watergate type of stuff, right? Like how can this possibly happen? Next thing you know, they'll be selling oil to Russia. Not that Russia buys oil; they sell oil. But like you kind of get where I'm going here. Yeah. It's terrible PR before an election. It's honestly it's the type of PR that the Republicans have going as well because the whole Supreme Court thing and the gun safety thing. I get that a lot of Republicans are for it, but it's also making a lot of like women really, really want to probably come out and vote here. The women with the women's choice thing are probably going to come out and vote in droves here for this election. So again, it's the same type of thing here right before an election, the Roe v. Wade thing and the gun safety thing. A lot of people just saying, enough is enough with the shootings and stuff. And the president calling people to say, hey, there's only so much we can do without the votes. Um, and then this type of stuff is probably going to make people say, okay, well, Republicans got to, or people got to go out and vote to, elect a new president on the other side of the coin here. So a lot of this stuff, for both avenues is going to make people go out and vote one way or another, one way or another. And I think we're probably going to see a record number of votes here this time around, like we did last time around. Actually, we've seen more votes than ever. And I wouldn't be surprised if this time around we see even, well, scratch that. Let me reverse it. This time around is not a presidential vote, so I think we're gonna see a lot of votes for this midterm elections because of the Roe v. Wade and the Roe v. Wade on both sides, Republicans and Democrats, are going to want to vote for their opinions, right? And gun safety, people that are gun advocates and people that are, want gun safety. I think we're going to see a lot of voting there on both sides as well. And then I think this next presidential election is going to be really big. If you've been seeing, there's been a lot of details here about the California governor, Gavin Newsom, has been running a big pitch right now. He's been running election campaign. As you can see here, California Governor Gavin Newsom has been running ads in Florida kind of against Ron DeSantis, the governor in Florida, saying, move to California for freedom. Ads, I think, a lot of this goes because the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, has said that he's not going to even order the vaccines for children under 5. Yeah, here's a headline from the Orlando Sentinel. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, quote, we are not going to order vaccines for kids for state health department. So he's not even going to order them for kids under 5 and even give them the option to take them. So kids are going to have to, if their parents want to get it for them, they're going to have to try to find other ways to find them. So the state is not going to even order them for parents that want to even have a choice to take it. So, and again, it's not like it's a forced thing. It's just, it's a choice, but the governor says we're not even going to order them. We're not even going to order them. And this could be that, the thing about this is that, some Democrats are saying that Governor Gavin Newsom from California could be the next potential Democratic candidate if Biden doesn't run. If he's considered too old or he doesn't want to run again, which is still 2 years away from now. So Governor Gavin Newsom from California may run. And Ron DeSantis from Florida could be the next Republican candidate if it's not Trump. So we actually could see this could be the next presidential showdown, which could be interesting because we're seeing a shifting dynamic right now. Yeah. And right now, with Biden's poll ratings, approval ratings, the lowest they ever have been, who knows? Who knows what will happen? We're still quite a ways from there. Really, the next thing is the midterm elections here, which is not that far away. And really, everything has kind of been thrown up in the air and completely mangled and tossed up. And really, in the last month here, with the Roe v. Wade and the gun safety and the gun legislations and mass shootings, I feel like that has completely taken the midterms and just rethought everybody's voting right now, because the Supreme Court just did this decision out of nowhere for Roe v. Wade and just turned the country upside on its head. And a lot of people like it, a lot of people don't like it, depending on your political spectrum. And then we've had these mass shootings come out of nowhere, and we have inflation at 40-year highs. And yeah, then we've seen the impact of the guns right now. I mean, Japan just had their ex-president just get assassinated. So I really feel like a lot of people are going to come out and vote to whatever they believe in, even though it's not a presidential election for this midterm election. Um, I think we're going to have a record amount of votes here for this midterm election here coming up here. And a lot of it has to, inflation and all this stuff here. You can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. But I will keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. And let me know your thoughts on Biden with the oil going to China and everything. And like I said, I let you guys know the truth on what's going on here on a daily basis. So make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so. Click the bell icon after subscribing so you get notifications when we go live here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss any new videos at this point. You can click here to see what Vladimir Putin just said, which is crazy. And you can click here to see more stimulus money, some that is going out here this week. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.